Okay, this is team number two's final dashboard group project presentation. I am William Brown and I will be presenting on behalf of my team number two. In the bottom left corner here, we have attached a link to our Watson dashboard for your use. So our FabCore overall performance dashboard is shown here on slide number two. For this particular dashboard, we decided to do 4 different visualizations. On the upper left, we did customer satisfaction by manager. Upper right, we did a new category, new column in Excel, issues divided by quantity sold per each city. And then the lower left was sales revenue by country. And then the bottom right finally was sales revenue in a new category called store rating. And we did that on a per year quarter basis. So we chose these categories in the hope that Mr. Johns could get a better grasp of how his company is performing from both a financial, which is shown on the bottom portion of the dashboard, and customer service perspective, which is shown on the upper portion of this dashboard. So starting in the upper left, we wanted to help Mr. Johnson see which of his managers were performing poor customer service satisfaction at FabCorp. To do this, we used Watson to take the average customer service ratings for each store under these specific managers over the full length of the year quarter data. This bubble chart we used clearly shows that Ellen Gray of France is the worst manager when it comes to customer service rating. So Mr. Johnson can now use this clear visualization and see that there's clearly an issue with either quality control or something with their suppliers that's leading to these issues. And interestingly enough, we did find in the individual portion, specifically mine, that France was going through an issue with item defects with their accessory lines starting in mid-2015. So he can trace that back to Ellen and her stores and see what's going on with those accessory lines. In the upper right, we also wanted to do a visualization that helped Mr. Johnson, see the different cities' perspective from a quality control or customer service issue. So we created a new column using Microsoft Excel VB by doing customer service issues divided by quantity sold. So this new column introduces that key relationship between quantity and customer service. And using Watson, we made a word cloud visualization to help delineate cities from each other. So for instance, you can see here that the French cities of Lyon and Marseille clearly stand out due to their darker font. So now Mr. Johnson now has 2 visualizations in this dashboard that help put a target on the French market of FabCore, where he can clearly see a quality control concern where maybe his corporate offices need to get involved and see what is the driver of these customer complaints. For the lower left portion of the dashboard, we decided to show Mr. Johnson how different countries are performing from an average revenue standpoint. Here he can realize his top performing countries from a revenue generating standpoint and get a clear understanding of where his marketing efforts are going well and where he may need to introduce new support. So for instance, in this chart, we can see India, the UK, and Spain have the highest average sales revenue, which is surprising since they don't have the most stores like the US. And even more interesting here, you can see a developed country like Belgium or Denmark is in the same category as developing countries like Senegal and Venezuela. So that could be a clear indication of he needs to introduce himself or his staff on why they're having in a country like Denmark or Belgium that could be usually compared to Germany or France as far as Western European countries go. Why are those countries generating revenue at the same rate as developing countries like Senegal? Finally, in the lower right portion of the dashboard, we introduced yet another category called store rating to help show Mr. Johnson the profit success of his stores over these 3+ years. In Excel VB, we used gross margin as the key for this new category called store rating. So for instance, for a gross margin store that was less than 2,000, they got a rating of 1. If the gross margin was between 2,000 and 4,000, it got a rating of 2. And if the gross margin was over 4,000, then the store rating was equal to 3. We then use Watson to plot both sales revenue, as you can see here in the blue bar chart, and then also this new average store rating, which you can see in the green line chart, both against the same length of time on the x-axis. And now Mr. Johnson is able to see visually how his company is profiting against the amount of revenue that is being generated from 2013 to mid-2016. For instance, in late 2014, revenue drastically increased to over an average of $22,000, but the store's rating stayed pretty constant, so not much difference in profit. He can review other metrics such as time of year, customer service ratings, discounts given to hopefully see what was driving this increase of revenue in quarter 3 and quarter 4 of 2014 to hopefully increase revenue or increase the amount of margin and hopefully reduce discounts. This dashboard represents a sound outlook on Fabcor's performance from 2013 to mid-2016. He can now clearly see which regions or managers need further attention to improve customer relationships and profits. And in addition to this, he gets a grasp of which regions are generating the most average revenue and at what time of year his stores are most profitable to hopefully make decisions for future planning, such as new stores or maybe hiring new managers or new help. And that ends our presentation for group number 2. Thank you.